Okay, can fear cause ego to get out of control? Yeah, of course, yes, it does. Fear causes ego. Okay, so when ego creeps in, ego is a type of a fear. Ego is a type of a fear that I don't want to be lost in my life. I don't want to be neglected. I don't want to be abandoned. I am the first person who needs to be attended. I am the one who needs attention. I need this, I need that. It's just I before everything. That is ego. And so this is the fear that I may get lost. Like no one would live up to me. This is a fear. And yes, it gets the ego out of control because, and why it grows out of control? Because in the formative years when the ego is getting built up, when the ego is getting formed or formulated, and it's growing big over time. So this is the time when that comfort, when ego is within control, a person neglects it. Person says, okay, it's not as much. I think it's okay. I think it's not as bad. It seems fine till now. But then comes a time when it just grows. The growth is exponential, it multiplies, it never adds up. Just like we see the power of 2 increasing, it just increases exponentially. This exponential growth, it goes out of control like anything. And when this goes out of control, ego starts to control the person. And eventually, when ego tends to take control of a person's emotion, it's just one small fear of being lost, which led to an emotion that I don't want to be get lost, I don't want to be lost, I want to attend myself first. This is the time when this is the time when ego grows out of control and it starts to control the person. Then in no matter what the situation is, be it a very small thing, be it a very tiny and non-consequential situation, but it's nothing, just the ego, just that little tiny thing, just that little tiny need that has been driving the person all the way long. All the person could have done was to address that need. It's just sit with yourself and let it out. Know exactly what is needed. Because when one gets to know that what's exactly needed, this is the time which turns the tables around, which turn all the tables around, and a person starts to feel at ease. And this ease means a lot. It lets the person off a lot of emotional load, a lot of guilt, a lot of fear, and that sets a person free. This is emotional intelligence, that I'm accessing my emotions when I want to access them, and I'm not letting them control me. This, I would not say control, but this befriending of emotion is very, very imperative for a happy life, because if something grows out of control, it's no longer the life which we are living. We are just living the emotion. We are not living our life, we are living the emotion. And that emotion is all we see, is all we eat, is all we drink. A person is walking around, is working, going anywhere, partying. It's not the person, it's just the emotion. A person with anxiety, he walks into a party, he's feeling anxiety there. He's like, okay, why no one is talking to me? What's gonna happen? That person goes to his car late at night in a parking lot. He's like, okay, I'm anxious. What if someone attacks me? It's not the person is in the moment. The person is physically in the moment, but it's just the emotion the person is going about. Here, grounding plays a very important role, but more than grounding, it is addressing the emotion. That, for example, it is just like there's a long table, there's a long dining table, and at the head of it is the person sitting, and at the sides there are all the emotions. And all these emotions, they have a tendency, or rather anyone sitting across the table is gonna get a lot of things over it. A person will get many things to eat, a person will consume a lot of its energy, but it's just the duty of the head to not control any of them, but to maintain that decorum. They are there to sit together and have lunch. And this table is not something which any of the emotions is going to control. If fear is taking control, or for example, if gluttony is taking control, all that is being served is just that one single dish, just going through the same experience every single time of the dominant emotion. Be it fear, be it anxiety, be it any emotion. And one another beautiful thing about what one goes about while dealing with emotions is it's not something that one emotion can cut another. Many people think, or rather tend to feel that, okay, if I have this thing, if I'm feeling fearful, so if I grow physically stronger, I will get over that fear. Nothing, absolutely nothing in the material world can ever reverse any feeling. It's all the internal wiring. One can be really adequate with all the resources one may need, but they still deep within feel that they don't have a lot of things because they still believe that. It's not that they don't have something, but it's just the belief of that missing link in their lives. Now, that missing link doesn't depend on anybody else, it doesn't depend on anything else, it's just their mindset. Until they let that damage out, until they acknowledge it, that what's wrong, why did it go wrong, and what can fix it. Most of the time, when we are dealing with kids, the kid is getting cranky, and if the parent is also getting irritated at the same time, the parent is going to shout at the kid, sit down or behave. Well, that is not going to make the child behave. Kids behave well when they feel well. The child is not going to behave because he's being ordered to behave. At this point of time, the kid craves for attention, the kid craves for love, that look at me, I'm here. I am here. Look at me, I want you to look at me. That's all what the kid needs. And I know it's not possible all the time for the parent to be focused on the kid. There are plethora of other things which are required to be done. So, in that case, just a little short assurance to the kid that yes, kid, you will be attended. Yes, kid, your needs will be taken care of, and I will talk to you. We will have a conversation, we will talk, I will give you attention. That assurance is what the kid demands. It's not what the kid wants, as it's not that the kid wants to create havoc or do anything else. It's just that simple acknowledgement of the kid's presence, that yes, kid, I acknowledge you're there and I will come back to you. The kid will settle down, provided the kid understands this language. But yes, this conveyed in the language that kid understands genuinely calms down the kid.